Arnold Jungle movie came out. It touched hearts, tears were shed, and we're gonna talk about it. I would like to greatly apologize for having this video come out kind of late. The movie came out like a week ago, so you're probably wondering why I'm talking about it now. And it's kind of late. Everyone already talked about it. Just a lot of things have been happening throughout the past week. I've just been busy with tryouts and work. My computer also broke, so that kind of just messed everything up even more. So I want to apologize for this video and also my couple of video game streams being delayed. So I said that I didn't want this review video to be like oh, I like this about the movie, I like that, I like this, that type of review video, but I kind of don't know a way to give out my output of the movie. So it's gonna be one of those reviews. It's basically what a review is, so either way I'm gonna talk like that, you know, I like this about the movie, all that type of stuff. But I will talk about the theories or predictions that I came up with throughout the past couple of months when we've been getting like trailers and stuff, and comparing them to like what actually happened in the movie, and like if I was wrong or if I was accurate, or just the difference between the two. So yeah, I'm just gonna go for it. Now this is very dumb of me to not do. I should have watched the 1 hour special, The Journal of Hey Arnold, before I basically started making these Hey Arnold Jungle movie videos, because there was a lot of information said in that 1 hour special that kind of go along with things that happened in the Jungle movie. And I haven't watched it in forever, so I completely forgot everything about it. And it was basically where we were left in a cliffhanger for I think 13 years, or just for a long time. So I totally forgot about the fact that Arnold had a map, La Sombra, Eduardo, the green-eyed people, the sleeping sickness. It kind of got me angry, and I just realized that when I posted the video of my last predictions 3 days prior to the movie premiering, because I just realized that some of my predictions didn't really make sense because they already happened, or it didn't make any sense because we already got some information that would go along with the movie. So I am gonna talk about my predictions and whether they're wrong and all that type of stuff. There were some small details in the movie that I did find really interesting and that I also liked. And the first one is right in the beginning. It was small. It was when you heard Arnold yelling in the background, "Grandma, Grandpa, you gotta see this, I found a map," or something along the lines of that. Because in the 1 hour special, The Journal, he says the exact same thing right at the very end. And it was basically where we were left on a cliffhanger for 13 years. So when he said that again in the beginning of the movie, it was just I kind of fangirled a little bit, and it was super cool. I don't know, I loved that so much. Now what I really enjoyed about this movie is that it kind of introduced Hey Arnold to this new day and age, and kind of still had the old same original feel to it at the same time. One way is with Bob's beepers, beepers were, I guess they were common back in the 90s, but I guess not anymore. But I like how they kind of still tackle it a little bit, but not too much. And I was kind of afraid of them doing that, but thank God they didn't. I don't know how I feel about reboots. Because I've only seen that in the Powerpuff Girls reboot, where they kind of just emphasize today's generation too much, kind of. So it was really cool to see that they kind of, the same feeling that the Hey Arnold show always had, it was always a slice of life, but it was also introducing something new, trying to, I guess, relate to now, but a little bit. I also was a fan of the new characters' designs. They didn't go too overboard, but at the same time, they kind of did it to indicate time has passed, which I guess is a really I guess important thing to know if you're going to go in the same industry. And it's also a really important tool to use. I mostly liked Gerald's new design. I also liked Arnold's too. I think it's supposed to be a year after, and that they're in the 5th grade. I think they were in the 4th grade, and I forgot. Anyways, I was a fan of their new designs, specifically Gerald. I thought he was pretty cool. The show, I guess they really did it successfully, and I was really proud of them to do that. It was also really cool to see. Now, the tribute video that they played for Arnold was also another one of the small details that I really appreciated in the film. I think, I could be wrong, but I think they were like referencing old episodes from the show, and they really did put like a lot of detail into that part, especially like when you go back and watch it, you can see the characters in their old original outfits, like Arnold and Gerald's original haircut, and like just seeing that also with like this new animation, it was just really interesting to see and be like, hey, I remember that. It was just, I thought that was so cool, and I kind of fangirled a little bit, and that was really clever of them. And also the animation was just really well. It was like, it was clean, it was amazing. No hate to the old animation. The animation looked really nice, and I can just tell that the crew put a lot of work into it, especially that video, which was also really amazing. Another part that I liked about the video, which I did appreciate, was that Pigeon Man was in it. For those of you who aren't aware, there was a theory going around that in the Pigeon Man episode from like 1996, Pigeon Man actually was supposed to jump off and kill himself, but Craig Bartlett has said that he specifically put Pigeon Man in the video to debunk that theory. I thought that was also pretty cool, and like I'm not a fan of that theory. Well, it was just too sad, you know. I feel like he wouldn't really kill off a character, and especially in a show like Hey Arnold. I mean, it does get pretty like real sometimes, but I don't think they would like let someone kill themselves. It was really nice and heartwarming to have that closure with that theory finally. So that's also one of the small details that I greatly appreciated too in the movie. Now, there were some tiny problems that I had. Well, they're not problems, but like, they weren't like huge problems. Like, I mean, I'm totally fine with them, and I guess like, I'd expect that to happen, but a major problem that other people have said in their review videos is that the pacing was a bit fast. I mean, when I watched it the first time, I noticed that it was kind of a bit quick. But I guess when I watched it the second time, I mean, I was already expecting what to happen, so it didn't bother me the second time. But when I first watched it, it was a bit quick. I was a bit confused when Gerald was already wondering why Arnold was talking to this man and being suspicious. Right when they first got on the boat too. I was thinking that, I feel like that would probably be towards the middle of the movie, not officially in the middle, but I thought that was a bit quick. Also, like, I guess the montage of them building Monkey Man's little craft, I thought that would also be longer than that. Not like super lengthy, but it would show a little more. I'd assume like nowadays time constraints have always been a problem in this industry. I don't know why, but I just have a feeling that it has. I guess you'd expect that, you know? Maybe because I was like so excited for this movie that everything just happened quick. The pacing was a bit too fast. Also, some things we're kind of expecting. Maybe it's because I've been watching too many cartoons, that's probably why, but I was already expecting that Eduardo, or La Sombra in the beginning of the movie, wasn't really La Sombra, or it was like an imposter. Because one, they go to his place and it's trash, and then he all of a sudden say like, hey guys, let me help you drive the boat, and it's like, nah, something smells fishy. First of all, if that was really Eduardo, would he really have that many wrinkles? Also, when I think Abner was sniffing his foot and then was like freaking out, trying to like warn Arnold or something, but Arnold ignored Abner, that was also like a sign like, hey, this guy, there's something up with Eduardo. He's supposed to be friends with Arnold's parents, and like, however, what I wasn't expecting was that the other pirates were attacking the boat. I thought it was kind of clever that they said that that was Eduardo's people trying to help them. And it was like an old switcheroo. Even though I was kind of expecting, I did think that was a little clever because it all kind of comes together and builds up into the stories. I also liked how the kids were, you know, working together to kind of bust out of the prison trap. I didn't expect the movie to like focus on Helga, Gerald, and Arnold specifically going to like find his parents or the green-eyed people, but I liked how they did that so it can kind of balance out, so the kids can focus on like, getting out of the trap while the three of them actually go on the mission. So I thought that was also pretty smart. Also, this movie was actually kind of dark. People technically died in it. La Sombra's henchmen and La Sombra himself. La Sombra used some guy to like dodge the bow and arrows being shot by the booby traps, and he technically died, and then his henchmen basically got like crushed by boulders and rocks from that other booby trap, and it was obviously like they added them groaning in pain and stuff, but they were dead. Also, the Sombra stuff was also kind of dark. I'm not gonna lie, when like it showed him and like the poison getting up to his head and then he just fell off and died, I was like, will they allow this? What? But the fact that Helga used her locket for the replacement of the Coruscant and said, oh, I don't think it's gonna work, it's just plastic or something. And then Arnold was like, oh, but your heart's pure. And it's just like, I need a season 6. And then they kiss. What? Yo, that got me. This is a cartoon movie, for goodness sakes, and I can't process it yet. A lot of people also said this too, but in the scene where Arnold was finally running to his parents in the temple, like it started raining and then there's the butterflies, like you can see in the background other kids like reuniting with their parents who are waking up from the sleeping sickness. When that scene hit me, I was thinking to myself, in all seriousness, like, wow, this is actually happening. People have been waiting for this for like 13 years and it's finally happening at this very moment. I was just sitting there in silence watching it and it was just so beautiful. It's cartoons, yeah, but like you can do so much with it to make it like beautiful or have a deeper meaning, and that's just what I really appreciated. And it was just so cool, and then they finally reunited, and then it was just amazing and brought closure, happiness, and it was I loved it, every second of it. Now, the predictions that I came up with and comparing to what actually happened in the actual movie. The first prediction I ever had was that there is a contest going on at the school and you have to submit a video entry and the winner gets to go to San Lorenzo as a trip. At some point, Arnold is like doubting himself. Like in the first sneak peek, he walks into the rooftop of the house all sad, and they show him like the tribute video and it's surprise and all that type of stuff. It was technically true, even though that La Sombra planned it and it was kind of fake. I guess there had to be like a reason for them to be in San Lorenzo in the first place. I mean, hey, it was still a field trip. Now, the second theory that I had was that Arnold was like a chosen one according to some tribe in the jungle. That they gave him a necklace, and the necklace has superpowers to show like where his parents are, and they try to take the necklace back for some reason. I was right about him being the chosen one to a tribe for the Green-Eyed People. There was a tribe who were the Green-Eyed People, but I mean, they talked about the Green-Eyed People in the journal special. So, I mean, I don't know if that really counts because it's already proven true from like 13 years ago. They gave him a necklace, which I guess it was their necklace, but La Sombra gave it to him. Yes, it did have powers, and I was right about that, and it kind of like showed him puzzles, like the booby traps and trying to open the Coruscant, the thing? Yeah, that thing. It basically helped them with the puzzles and all that type of stuff, which I was kind of right about it. I also theorized that at some point in the movie, they lose the necklace, so they would try to have to result to themselves in figuring out some of the puzzles. I was kind of wrong by that, because they didn't really lose it until La Sombra died and then ripped it off Arnold's neck as he fell down. That's the only time they lost it, but like it wasn't like to the point where it's during like the middle of the entire journey and they were kind of stuck. That's what I meant, but apparently I was wrong, because they don't lose it until the very end when they basically don't need it anymore. Now, another prediction that I had, that there would be conflict between the kids and Arnold. I also went into fuller depth, saying that the reason there would be conflict is because that Arnold does know where his parents are, or at least the general like area, and doesn't tell like the other kids, so he makes them go through all this hassle. The conflict will mostly be like Gerald and Arnold, like that. They will focus on them too. I was wrong about the fact why are they mad at each other. Really, I was wrong about that because the kids didn't go on the journey throughout like a full group, because they were trapped. It was basically Helga, Arnold, and Gerald. They already knew that he got the map, so they know where to go, they know everything. That just, I mean, completely no sense. Like I've said, haven't watched the special in a long time, watched it, remembered everything. The last theory I had was that Grandma and Grandpa would be worried about Arnold and his friends going on this trip, and then would later make a surprise appearance in San Lorenzo trying to help the kids when they are in danger. Which, yeah, I was kind of right about that. You kind of do expect it. I mean, like, it happens in all Nickelodeon shows or movies. I guess you kind of expect it, but I just didn't expect Bob to also come along, and Miriam. Like, if Arnold's grandparents are gonna come and save him, Bob and Miriam might as well come to rescue Olga and Helga. her too, because she's also pretty significant. Now, there has been some speculation that if the movie were to be successful, Craig Bartlett would be up for bringing back Hey Arnold for a 6th season, and I am kind of up for it. I don't know how I officially feel about reboots though. Like, I mean, I haven't really got around to catching up on DuckTales or Samurai Jack. When I think of the word reboot, I always think of the Powerpuff Girls and how it kind of didn't go well, and I'm afraid of like Hey Arnold going through like the same thing that the Powerpuff Girls went through. Craig Bartlett and the crew did like an amazing job with this movie and kind of bringing it back with like this new day and age, but also having like the same nostalgia feel to it. I feel like they did that successfully, and like if they were to make a season 6, then like it wouldn't turn out as the Powerpuff Girls, and it would be successful. And it's like, it's not gonna be like one of those reboots that it's just there and it's like a cash grab. Like, I honestly feel like they would do that to make people who grew up with this show extremely happy and just fulfill their hearts and everything. And with the season 6, honestly, they can go into so many different directions with it after like the movie. Now they could tackle like Arnold's new lifestyle now that his parents are home, and they can tell them more like stories with Eduardo or anything, or if there's any more details to know. Or it can focus on like them finally being in the 6th grade, and this is how Bob's Beaver business is doing now that it's probably failing. Helga and Arnold's relationship, and even Gerald and Phoebe's relationship, which haven't forgot about that. It could be likely, it could happen, it couldn't happen, I don't know. The animation was amazing, just even the voice acting was amazing. I loved Helga so much, her quotes were funny, I always laughed, especially with the grandparents, they were amazing. I always laughed when they were on the scene, it was just so funny. That's, I guess, all I really had to say for the Jungle movie. If I were to rate it, I would give it like a 9.5 out of 10. Like, yeah, the pacing was a bit too fast, it was kind of a bit expecting, but like, I mean, you kind of, I guess you should expect that nowadays, but it was just amazing. Like, nothing, it doesn't change my mind, it doesn't really, it was beautiful, and I loved it. It was, whew. Well done, Craig Bartlett. Thank you so much for just giving us such an amazing cartoon show and just finally answering our questions and being able to have this movie come out after years and years later. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. I had an amazing time coming up with theories and predictions along the way, watching the trailers and just getting hyped for the movie. It was honestly extremely fun, and I hope to continue doing that, and I hope you guys did enjoy as well. If you had like a favorite part of the movie, comment it down below. I honestly don't know. There's just so many good parts of the movie, I can't name off one good part. But I just want to say thank you to Craig Bartlett for creating such an amazing show and being able to finally provide answers for us, and also to the Hey Arnold fan base for finally fighting for what we wanted, which was this movie, and finally getting the courage to speak up and say, hey, this movie has to come out, and just finally getting what we deserved after all these years, and it was just amazing. And I hope to see season 6 or any more news about Hey Arnold. Until then, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.